Are you really sure that bottle of magnesium in your medicine cabinet is the real deal? Here's a harsh truth that's just been exposed. Out of every 2 bottles you buy, one is almost pure chalk. Independent lab tests on 23 of the biggest magnesium brands have shocked all of us. 50% of them are misleading you. Some brands boldly print 750 milligrams on the label, but the reality inside only 126 milligrams. That means 80% of the money you spent went to thin air and empty promises. It gets trickier. Some companies use cheap magnesium oxide, hard to absorb, often causing bloating and diarrhea, and dress it up with a little glycine to slap on a label saying premium magnesium glycinate. So the real question is, are you taking supplements to get healthy or just putting junk into your body? In today's video, I'll call out the worst offenders by name. And more importantly, I'll reveal 2 secrets about magnesium absorption that even seasoned salespeople don't want you to know. Don't take another pill until you watch this video all the way through. Before we dive in, if you're someone who truly puts your family's health first, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. That's how you get these health secrets tailored just for you. Now interact with me a little. If you find this information useful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I'll listen and improve my content for you. All right, let's get started. Let me tell you something, speaking as someone who's been working with patients for over 30 years and who's also been fooled more than once by pretty labels on pharmacy shelves. When I looked at the alarming brands in the lab test results, my first feeling wasn't anger, it was heartbreak. Heartbreak for all the older adults who take their magnesium every morning, hoping for better sleep, a healthier heart, fewer cramps, not knowing where their money is actually going. Take the most striking example, Deal Supplement. The label screams 750 milliliters magnesium, bold and confident. Anyone would think, wow, that's a high dose, it must be effective. But lab testing revealed only 126 millimilligrams. The rest, not magnesium for your body. It's just empty promises. In medicine, we don't call that a margin of error. We call it deception. Then there are names like ZY Nutrition or Tyrannix. They claim 500 milliliters per tiny capsule. Just by looking at it, I knew something was off. Chemically speaking, a true magnesium glycinate capsule that contains 500 milligrams would have to be almost as big as your thumb. Lab results confirmed that ZYY had only 65 milligrams, Tyrannix just 50 milliliters. The rest simply doesn't exist. Even high-priced brands like Pure Encapsulations were disappointing. Triple the price, yet still missing about 10% of what the label promised. Why? Because too much money went into marketing and creating a premium image rather than ensuring actual quality. In health, expensive doesn't always mean better. The sneakiest trick, in my view, is what I call fake chelates. The label says magnesium glycinate, but inside is cheap magnesium oxide with a little glycine to make it sound fancy. The result, bloating, diarrhea, and magnesium that never reaches your bloodstream, it just flushes away. At our age, we don't have time to experiment. Knowing this truth doesn't just save your money, it helps you protect your body. And just when you think you've avoided all those deceptive brands, I need you to pause for a moment, because the next trap is even trickier. It's not about milligrams, it's not about the form of magnesium, it's hidden in a small line that many of us have trusted without question, lab tested. A lot of people tell me I feel safe because this product has been lab tested. On the surface, that sounds reasonable, but the truth is not all labs are trustworthy in the supplement world. Some deceptive companies know exactly how to play on this trust. They set up labs with scientific-sounding names or hire low-quality testing services just to get a certificate on paper. Legally, they're fine, but ethically and scientifically completely empty. I've met many people over 60 who bring in a bottle of magnesium stamped third-party lab tested and ask, "Doctor, is this okay?" And heartbreakingly, when you look closer, there's no real independent certification behind that claim. No USP, no NSF, no informed sport, just a cleverly printed marketing line. In medicine, we learn early real certification can't be bought with marketing dollars. Independent testing exists to protect consumers, not to make a label look pretty. If a product won't display those seals, their lab-tested claim is honestly just an empty promise. At our age, we don't have time to be fooled. Understanding this lab-tested trap doesn't just save money, it helps you keep your trust in the health choices you make. If you're still watching and finding this useful, comment one below so I know you're here. Now let's move on to the golden timing and enemies of magnesium. And even when you've chosen a truly trustworthy magnesium like Life Extension or Now Foods, I have to tell you something very important. You're only halfway there. The other half doesn't live on the pharmacy shelf, it's in how you take it every day. I've met many people who say, "Doctor, I'm taking the best magnesium, so why am I still sleeping poorly? Why do I still get cramps?" The answer is often surprisingly simple. Magnesium has enemies, and if you don't know about them, even the best pill can become essentially useless. The biggest enemy, calcium. These two minerals are like two people trying to squeeze through a narrow doorway only one can get through. When you take them at the same time, your body has to choose, and magnesium usually loses. So give them at least 2 hours apart. A tiny change, but it makes a huge difference. Then there's biological timing. Our bodies aren't the same in the morning and at night. If your goal is deeper sleep, magnesium glycinate should be taken about 30 minutes before bed when your nervous system needs calming. If constipation is a concern, magnesium citrate works best when taken consistently at the right dose. And if you want energy for movement workouts or just staying alert during the day, magnesium malate in the morning is a smart choice. Finally, don't forget caffeine. A strong cup of coffee can quietly flush magnesium out through urine. Wait at least an hour after coffee before taking your magnesium. At our age, good health doesn't come from taking more. It comes from taking it at the right time in the right way. That's where magnesium's real benefits begin. After all those disappointing numbers and clever tricks that make people lose trust, I want you to take a slow breath. Not everything in the world of magnesium is shady. There are still brands that work quietly, ethically, and with respect for their users, especially for people in our age group. When I looked at the lab results, the first name that made me nod in approval was Life Extension. No fanfare, no flashy claims. The label says 154 milligrams, but the lab measured nearly 176 milligrams. That tells me something important. They're not just trying to be right. They give a little extra to make sure your body actually gets enough. In medicine, that's the mark of a conscientious manufacturer. Now Foods reassured me in a similar way. Whether glycinate or citrate, the actual amounts exceeded the label. No gimmicks, no overpromises, just simply doing what they say. To me, that's the foundation of trust. Then there's Innovix Labs. Not a household name, but the results exceeded their claim by more than 20% and were very easy to absorb, especially important for people over 50. Doctor's Best impressed me for a different reason. Affordable price, yet quality far from budget. I also value Jigsaw Health and Diva for their impressive accuracy. And finally, GNC and Nature Made, even though they use magnesium oxide, a cheaper form, they are at least honest. At our age, sometimes honesty alone is a huge value. Choosing a supplement isn't just about nutrients, it's about choosing trust. And in my experience, these brands truly deserve it. And now, after all the shocks and brand letdowns, the most natural question is, how do we actually choose magnesium the right way? Let me share with you, not as a seller, but as someone who has seen countless bodies change for better or worse, simply because of picking the right or wrong little mineral pill. First and foremost, choose the right form of magnesium. Our bodies after 50 aren't as forgiving as they once were. Magnesium glycinate, with its gentle structure, is often the best choice for sleep, and the nervous system, especially if your stomach is sensitive. Citrate is different. It's better for digestion and relieving constipation. Malate acts like a mild energy boost, helping you stay alert and active during the day. Oxide, I only see it as a situational choice when you need a strong laxative effect because its absorption is actually very low. Second, read the label like a detective. Don't be fooled by the big number on the front. Flip the bottle and look for elemental magnesium. That's the amount your body truly gets. In medicine, small details make a huge difference. Third, beware of unrealistic promises. If a pill claims 500 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, remember science doesn't lie. A real pill that size would be too big to swallow. When the numbers defy physical reality, that's not magic, it's marketing. If you could, life extension is my go-to because they don't just meet the mark, they give extra for a reliable long-term solution. Now foods or doctor's best are names I often recommend in my practice. Finally, a word of caution, avoid brands that exist only online with flashy packaging, but no history, no accountability, no trust. At this age, your health deserves to be in the hands of those who have proven themselves. Choosing magnesium at the end of the day is choosing how you treat your own body in the years ahead. One patient, Robert, 67, had been taking 500 milligrams of magnesium every night for years, but still suffered from insomnia and nighttime cramps. He trusted the product because it was lab-tested and easy to buy online. When he brought the bottle in, we discovered it was disguised magnesium oxide with no clear label for elemental magnesium. I switched him to proper magnesium glycinate, lower dose, taken at the right time and separated from calcium. Just 3 weeks later, he came back and said, "For the first time in years, I slept through the night." Not because he took more, but because he took it right. That's the power of the right choice, and why I always say one correct magnesium pill can change your quality of life. Before we wrap up, I want to stress one very important point. Your health is priceless. After more than 30 years working with people over 50, I've seen clearly that it's not the most expensive pills or the fanciest labels that make the difference. It's smart choices and the right knowledge. To make things easier for you, I've put together a detailed list of 23 lab-tested magnesium brands, along with a guide showing which form of magnesium suits which needs, whether it's sleep, digestion, energy, or specific health concerns. I turned it into a super convenient PDF that you can keep on your phone and check anytime before buying magnesium. If you'd like to get it, just comment, list below, and I'll send it to you completely free. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel because next week I'll be revealing shocking truths about vitamin D3 and omega-3, two nutrients where the rate of counterfeit products is even higher than magnesium. Let's keep learning together how to protect our health wisely and effectively.